I want to get into the ministry real quick, but I want to ask this question because you brought up, the money aspect. We all know that Christian hip hop doesn't make, what secular hip hop makes by no stretch of the imagination. But have you seen any kind of influx financially since Mano to Trinity, as far as production or just rap album sales, whatever?
Yeah, production-wise, I bring in, a decent amount of money just from working with artists like Kurt, Shy Lynn, stuff like that. And then with my production at Chrys, man, they've been able to upgrade my studio. I've got a brand new production computer because mine crashed.
Okay.
They bought me studio monitors. They sent me a microphone straight to me.
All right, so you said a second ago that, with ministry and everything, so are you a pastor, or are you just a preacher a guy who can preach, or what is your quote-unquote title?
So I was an elder at a church called Shawnee Run, which you passed probably when you were coming in.
Okay.
So I've been an elder. I was a co-pastor of a church for about a year, and right now I'm a pastor in training. So basically what I'm doing is I want to plant a church here in Central Kentucky. It's part of the reason that I haven't moved to DC or somewhere to do music ministry. I have a passion for rural ministry. So right now I'm doing a residency program and a rural pastor's cohort so that I can become a pastor.
Okay.
That's a loud truck, right?
Yeah, it is loud. I'll let him go and do his thing. So is that your passion to preach, to be a pastor?
Yeah, my passion is preaching and ministry. And really what I get passionate about is discipling people. So my back porch, I consider it one of my favorite spaces because I can drink coffee, I can have dudes over, we can open up the text, we can talk about life. That's what I love. And that's why I want to be a pastor, is just to be able to disciple people.
So how, as of right now, how are you managing your time with wife, 4 kids, I'm sure, in-laws, families, preaching, church, discipleship programs, production, rapping, that is like you wear a lot of hats, bro. Yeah. So how are you able to manage the time in such a way where first God gets the glory, second none of these avenues are left without?
Man, it's a challenge. I was actually just talking to a friend of mine yesterday about it. Obviously God comes first,
right,
and then family comes second. So, if wifey said this morning wasn't going to work, this morning wasn't going to work,
right?
But so basically, I had to, I've got a priority list. I'm a very detail-oriented person, so I've got a list of literally, here's my priorities, and here's my goals within that priority. And so today, I was up making beats this morning.
Really?
Kids was, we had coffee together. We talked about, the day between Jesus dying and rising.
Right.
And then, I was waiting on you to show up, so I was just making beats. So beats is kind of a hobby.
Okay.
Rapping is one of those things that sometimes it's part of the hobby. Sometimes it's all right, Kim, I just got to get on this grind and get this album done. I got to get this project mixed and mastered for Will. So sometimes music takes the priority over, other stuff. But when I'm preaching, the sermon takes precedence over music. When I'm, doing side hustles, sometimes I got to get those done.
So would you, with ministry-wise, are you so I'm hearing that the accent, but then I know you as how your attitude is as a rapper. Are you the hoop holler kind of pastor, or are you the laid back, chill, everybody fold your legs, sit down, and let's talk pastor?
I'm kind of in between, so I don't hoop and holler. I'm not that. But if there's a moment in the text or in the sermon where the Spirit leads me to get excited, to call people to be excited, I try to let that shine through.
Okay.
Because I think, in our circles, preaching can be almost an academic exercise, and I'm not cool with that.
Okay.
I don't think the sermon is primarily a seminary lecture. I think it's a call, it's an appeal to someone to hear the word, interpret it properly, but to respond. So sometimes that response warrants getting hype or warrants, sadness, whatever that emotion of the text is. And so I try to convey that well. But I'm pretty laid back as a human being.
Okay.
So most of my preaching is pretty chill.
Okay. Are you a topical preacher, or do you prefer to go scripture by scripture through the text?
I am a type of preacher that I don't need the Bible. I'm just playing.
I'm about to say. I was waiting. Like, don't do it, Carlos. Don't do it. Everything's going so well.
I'm an expository guy. So
Okay.
Next week when I preach, I've got a passage that they gave me.
Okay.
I'll walk you through the passage. If it's a huge narrative, obviously I'm not going to go verse by verse, sentence by sentence. But
Right.
usually, if it's an epistle or a small text, like I'm taking you through the text, explaining what the text says, what it means, how to illustrate that text, how to apply that text, and so very expository.
So do you ever plan on doing an album in an expository sense?